else will break your heart. I'm never gonna hold you back. I'm always gonna have your back. So try to remember that.
Good evening, beautiful people. I hope that everyone had an amazing Sunday. I know I did. I originally was going to work on one of our symptoms of relapse, but I'm going to take a break just because today was so cool. I'm going to update you. I have been struggling with practicing what I preach. I haven't been really diligent about meditating twice a day or doing Zumba as much as I want. Not for lack of being busy, just I haven't done a good job of staying on track. And actually, I bought ice cream last night. So that's even not on track either. But anyway, today was one of those days where I actually felt, even though I goofed off, it was a good self-care day. And this is why I got up and I meditated, and I actually did a guided meditation instead of my TM. And maybe that set the tone. I don't know. Before I even meditated or did this morning's show, I'll be honest, I watched some Shark Tank, and I don't ever watch TV in the morning. I hardly ever watch TV at all. So that was kind of different, and I'm surprised I had time for that. And then I did some work. I made a date with a lady who's going to be on the show, talk about yoga therapy and some fun stuff. She had a whole lot of experience on a whole lot of things. So I'm looking forward to interviewing her this week. I did another interview because I had lost the original one, which I thought was amazing. But we're going to have a show on sex addiction from the spouse of a sex addict. And my computer was stupid and gave me a whole bunch of grief. So I won't tell you about all the fighting with the computer stuff. I went to a webinar where I learned stuff, and I went on a bike ride, and I ran into my BFF's wife again. So that was kind of good. If we tried to find each other 2 days in a row in two different locations, it would have been normally impossible. But we came across each other twice. And then I think why I'm ending the day on such a high is I just got off the phone with some of the folks from the Asia trip. And I've seen, we have a little bit of communication going on, whether it's on WhatsApp or Facebook. We have a couple different vehicles to communicate with each other. But we haven't been super, life just goes on. You don't always know the details. So this was our second call that we've had, a Zoom call, where we kind of got to just catch up with each other. And there's so much goodness in that. I mean, when you talk about a trip of a lifetime and making friends of a lifetime, it's pretty impactful. And it's significant in my journey. I haven't drunk. Wow. Don't mind my English tonight. So I haven't drank since before the trip. The ask was to not drink for 30 days before. And I just haven't found a time to reintroduce alcohol back in my life right now. I can't see a reason to. And I still don't know if that'll be forever or not, but regardless, what I thought was beautiful about the conversation tonight, in addition to these relationships, and that's one of the cool things about being in this environment. And by this environment, I mean, if your recovery practices guide you to group environments, like I go to the center, there's obviously GA, and then I'm going to share with you some of the other things that are out there just from this call, but that community and that support is just such an amazing thing. So the other piece of it with the community and what I want to express about pretty much everybody on the call was taking the opportunity with this time to do something positive with self-development or self-care. That's what I want to stress. There was two of the ladies were traveling for family things like upcoming trips. Two of the people one just graduated or is about to graduate from learning how to teach smart recovery. So we know I'm going to have to get him on the podcast. Another one is talking about starting a podcast and is working on an online course. One of the other girls is in a couple courses and trying a couple different recovery strategies, which I already told her she's going to have to be on the show, and she's a hoot. So it's beautiful to see that people are taking advantage of the time. And we don't know how much more time, we're going to be shut down. And even there was people on the call, gyms have opened up in Colorado and Montana. I mean, limited stuff, but that really just shocked me. And I get it. There's different demographics and geography and populations and all that stuff. But, there was Philadelphia on the call that probably feels the same way it does here in upstate New York. And one of the reports was from our friend in Thailand that we had met. And she said that they're probably going to just follow suit of whatever the states do. Their government will copy or, execute after we do. So it was really good time. It was also time that we were present, which is something I haven't talked about like in a major way, but first of all, to form those relationships. Like if it was a drunken trip and I met 20 something people, I probably wouldn't remember a whole lot, but I wouldn't have been as dialed in to learning about these people and, really hearing them and listening. So then that leads to wanting to be present for this conversation tonight, to get the updates and see that everybody's taking care of themselves the best that they can. Whether it is, one of the other girls is doing some interactive working out from her apartment on a bike, and just, it was all good stuff. There was no one on the call that said, I'm sitting on my tush watching Netflix for the whole thing. Granted, there was some laughs about current Netflix shows, but everybody was taking steps forward. And that's something I think that we all need to do to protect ourselves from going back out to a bet, a drink, a lover, if it was sex addiction. So I guess I'm still on the potential, relapse. We've been focusing on all those symptoms that are negative, being depressed, exhausted, dishonest, impatient. Like, where's the positive, right? Well, there's a reason the positives aren't listed as a symptom of relapse, because it doesn't increase your chance. It decreases it. And the point being, if everybody in this potential, in this group was doing positive things and exhibiting behaviors, learning, teaching, working out, volunteering. There was three different volunteer situations. And we're talking, there was only 12 of us on the call. So as I'm describing, how many are in programs and how many are volunteering and how many are traveling, like it's pretty cool. Actually, 3 of them were traveling. So, and not, unsafe traveling, just to be clear. But that's the distinction. I think that if we do the right things, we end up in the right places. I think it's that simple. I know I talk a lot about all the different aspects of recovery that I have an opinion on or want to learn about, but it really is as simple as, if we do the right things, we should get the right results. that seems to be what's working in my world. And it was a nice thing to see it happening in some of my friends' worlds. So that's my big relapse speech tonight, or just ending my day on a happy note, because it really was. It was a good day. I'm prepared for I want to say fun, but it's going to be challenging. There's a lot of things coming up that I'm pretty excited about, but very time consuming. So that starts tomorrow. All right, beautiful people. Bobbie the Awesome is going to bed now because we're going to try to be on the bike path by 5:30. So have a good night. I'll talk to you tomorrow, and we'll continue with the back of the phone card next time we chat. So long.